Good evening. I hereby call this meeting of the Township Committee Reorganization to order.
I won't get in your way.
Mr. Urbana.
Here.
Not your way, am I?
No, you're right.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been made and is on file in the office of the Township Clerk. All please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good to see you.
Good evening, everybody. Before we get started formally tonight, there is something that the Township Committee has decided they wanted to do this year, and that is to honor somebody at each of our meetings. Honor somebody in the community who's contributed either formally or behind the scenes, somebody who's lived here a long time, just honoring members of the community who have helped us and contributed to the fabric of our society here. We have chosen tonight to honor somebody who unfortunately passed this past year. It's Abbott Giles Hayes of St. Mary's Abbey. He touched my life when my son Jacob started going to Delbarton, but he's touched many people's lives all over Morris Township for a long time. He started at Delbarton in 1952 and graduated in 1956, and professed himself as a monk in 1959, and ordained himself as a priest in 1965, and was at Delbarton St. Mary's Abbey ever since. So he's been part of our community for about 60 years. We miss him very much, and I wanted to honor him tonight. Peter Mancuso has known him for a much longer period of time, so I wanted Peter to say a few more words.
It's only because I'm older that I know him for longer. I have known Abbott Giles for probably 40 years, and he has performed more weddings and baptisms at our house than you could ever imagine. And everything he did and everything he said was filled with love and filled with the presence of the Lord. It could not have been a better person. I'll give you one quick story. He asked me about 5 years ago to introduce him when he was getting an award in front of about 400 people. And I started off with, Abbott Giles Hayes is my best friend. Well, 300 of the 400 people went, oh, no, he's my best friend. And I said, well, I'll tell you one thing. He made everybody he was with feel like he was their best friend. And it was a joy to have him, and everybody in the room sort of relaxed and took it easy from that point. But I give Jeff credit for picking up this thought process of honoring everybody here, at least at our meetings once a month. And we're just so looking forward to having you all here tonight and watch us go through our machinations. And God bless you all, and thank you for coming.
Bring up Brother Paul from St. Mary's Abbey to say a few words about Abbott Giles.
Thank you, Jen. So I want to thank on behalf of Abbot Richard and the monks of St. Mary's Abbey, Father Michael, the staff and students and the administration of Delbarton School. We want to thank the committee for honoring Abbott Giles in this way. It really, really does mean a lot to us. One of the things you might not know about us Benedictine monks is that we take a vow of stability. Unlike all the other religious orders in the Catholic Church, we don't get moved from place to place. When we join a monastery, we join that monastery for life. And so every monk who joins St. Mary's Abbey becomes a citizen of Morris Township. And we become a citizen of Morris Township for our entire lives. And it's an honor to be part of this community. And I think for Giles in particular, it was very meaningful. You know, as we heard, he arrived at Delbarton as a freshman at the age of 14 in 1952. And except for the few years, not more than 4, when he was away studying theology, he lived the rest of his entire life at St. Mary's Abbey in Morris Township, and he now rests in our cemetery in Morris Township. He truly was a person who lived for this community. He was, you know, a great fan of the town and its population. He loved Delbarton, and he loved the township. And as a teacher of American history, he was particularly aware of the importance of civic engagement. And he, in his own life, did that at different times. And, you know, he basically in the 70s and the early 80s, he was more active in civic matters because he wasn't doing as much in the school. In 1980, he became the headmaster of the school, and from that point on, he could not be as engaged, but he was engaged in several aspects of civic life in Morris Township and Morristown. He was on the Morris Area Interfaith Clergy Council for many years, was very active in that way. But it really was as an educator that he stood out. He was a person that kids trusted instinctively. He was such a good, selfless person that kids always felt they could trust him. And for years, he was an administrator, teacher, coach, and really towards the end of his life, a college counselor, and he helped so many kids in that difficult process. And not just the kids at Delbarton. Most people won't know that, but he helped more than one sister of a Delbarton student with the college process, and talked many parents off the ledge over the years. So he literally had impact on thousands of young people in Morristown over the years. And I just want to say one thing, and Peter kind of stole my line at the end about him being a friend to everybody, and I think that's how he would want to be remembered. But you know, here is a man of incredible talent. He could have done anything. You know, his career path could have taken him away from Delbarton, away from Morris Township, away from us at any moment. But he chose to stay and live his life here. And I'm very grateful, and we all are, that you chose to recognize him and his contribution. So thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
Just one quick note. My second son, Ken, son number 2, is a Benedictine monk, and he is down in Charlotte, North Carolina, and we miss him a lot. Now, I'd like to have the invocation said by,
All please rise.
by Abbott Elias Lorenzo, who is the Abbott Praeses of all of the Benedictines. It means he's the boss. So we're very happy to have him here.
Thank you, Peter. Let us pray. O gracious and holy one, known by many names and beyond all names, we thank you for the rich blessings you have bestowed upon the residents of Morris Township during the past year, and we look forward to a new year of grace and favor. We thank you too, O Lord, for those who have served this community generously and tirelessly. Give them the reward of their labors. We ask your blessings upon the citizens of Morris Township, and especially upon those newly elected to leadership and service in our community. Grant them and us the wisdom and courage to know and do what is right and good and true. May we all speak up when it is time to speak out, and listen patiently and respectively when it is time to hear the cares and concerns of each other. May always be guided by the spirit of the common good, the spirit of justice, and the spirit of peace. Help us all engage in meaningful and fruitful dialogue. Allow us always to grow closer together as a community and to nurture the bonds of friendship. Bless all our efforts with clear insight, our deliberations with wisdom, our work with clarity and accuracy, and our decisions with impartiality. We ask all this that yours may be the glory and ours the peace, forever and ever. Amen.
A certified copy of statement of determination of the Board of County Canvassers with relative to the November 6, 2018 general election, where Mr. Jeffrey R. Grayzel and Mr. Mark J. Gyorfy were elected to the Tax Committee for a 3-year term from January 1st, 2019 to December 31st, 2021. Mr. Charles Robinson, Esquire, will administer the oath of office to Mr. Grayzel.
Please put your hand on the Bible and raise your right hand. Do you, Jeffrey Grayzel, solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people, so help you God?
I do.
Further, do you solemnly swear that you will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of the position of Committeeman of Morris Township according to the best of your ability, so help you God?
I do.
Mr. Committeeman, congratulations.
Mr. Gyorfy will be sworn in by Congressman Elias, who represents New Jersey's 8th Congressional District, holding the Bible for Mark is his fiancée and high school sweetheart, Kelly Hall. Mark is also joined by his parents, Barbara and John, along with other members of his family and friends.
Come on, go up with it, please. Come on, Kim. Everybody.
Do you, Mark Gyorfy, solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and to the governments established in the United States and in this state, under the authority of the people, so help you God?
I do.
Do you solemnly swear that you will faithfully, impartially, justly perform all the duties of the position of committeeman for the Township of Morris according to the best of your ability, so help you God?
I do.
Congratulations.
The chairman will entertain nominations for mayor of the tax committee for 2019.
I'd like to nominate Jeff Grayzel.
I'd like to second that nomination.
Is there a motion to close the nomination?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second? All in favor for Jeffrey Grayzel to be mayor of the tax committee for 2019?
Aye. Oh, no, the voice vote first.
Mr. Arvanites?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Macusa?
Yes.
Mrs. Wilson?
Yes.
Jeffrey R. Grayzel, solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and you will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in this state and the United States pursuant to the authority of the people, so help you God.
Thank you.
You further solemnly swear that you will faithfully, justly, and impartially perform all the duties of mayor of the township of Morris to the best of your ability, so help you God.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I'd like to call for a nomination for a deputy mayor. And I would personally like to nominate Cathy Wilson as deputy mayor. May I have a second?
I'd like to second the nomination.
Thank you. We have a second. Motion to close nominations?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Come on. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bernard.
Yes.
Mr. Gyorfy.
Yes.
Mr. Giles. Mrs. Wilson. Yes.
Yes. Congratulations.
Left on the Bible, raise your right. You, Cathy Wilson, solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and you will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in this state and the United States pursuant to the authority of the people, so help you God.
I do.
You further solemnly swear that you will faithfully, justly, and impartially perform all the duties of deputy mayor of the township of Morris to the best of your ability, so help you God.
I do.
Congratulations.
Good evening, neighbors, friends, and honored guests. We have so many dignitaries and distinguished guests here tonight with us that I'd like to acknowledge them right now. Thank you to Congressman Albio Series for coming out tonight. We appreciate it. Mayor Richard Turner of Weehawken, Mayor Tim Doherty of Morristown, Mayor Michael Soriano of Parsippany. Is he present?
Sick.
He's sick. So we have his chief of staff, Matt Clarkin, representing Mayor Soriano. Mayor-elect Jason Carr of Morris Plains, Committee Woman Amalia Duarte of Mendon Township, Councilman Thad Kovalars of Chatham Borough, Chip Robinson, Chair of the Morris County Democratic Committee, Council President Tashiba Foster of Morristown, Councilwoman Hillary Davis of Morristown, Councilman Stephen Armington of Morristown, Councilman Robert Enacone from Morristown, Councilwoman Allison Deeb from Morristown, Councilman David Silva from Morristown, Councilman Michael Elms from Morristown. We have Assemblyman Anthony Bucco with us tonight. Thank you, Assemblyman Bucco, for coming out. Tom Luby is here, representing Assemblyman Michael Carroll. Senator Bucco is here as well. Senator, thank you for coming. We have Rick Watson, former mayor of Morris Township. Ray Snyder, former committeeman of Morris Township. Dan Caffrey, former committeeman of Morris Township. And we have Rick Watson. Yes, and I'm not sure if Joe Calvin only made it out here tonight, chairman of the Morris Township Republican Committee. And we have George Quillen, chair of the Morris Township Democratic Committee. So thank you everybody for coming out tonight. And I always hate naming names because I fear that I'm going to leave somebody out. So did I leave anybody out here who should be recognized? Please let me know. Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks everybody for coming tonight. So let me start out by simply saying, wow. This day is here. This has been a long time coming and quite a journey. And thankfully, the king of recounts did not have one this year. Two people have been nearby throughout my entire trip have been Noelle Robinson and Chip Robinson. Noelle's been living in Morris Township for 33 years and her son Chip was born here and raised here. And I am honored to have them both swear me in tonight. Thank you both for your help and your guidance through all these years. My family has also been at my side through this journey. Both my boys used to be my designated doorbell ringers when I first started on my early campaigns, which made things much easier when a resident was holding a piece of literature as I walked up their walkway and ready for my handshake. My oldest son is 17 now and going off to college soon, and needless to say, as teenagers, they let it be known to me that they were done ringing doorbells. I was on my own this year. But thank you, Lynn, Jacob, and Alex for being at my side through this journey as well. And I'm blessed to have both my parents healthy and still very much a part of my life. My two teenage boys don't like to take much advice from their father, but I want to let them know that I would not be in this position today if my parents had not positioned me to do something like this in my life. So I'm very lucky to have them here with us at this momentum occasion. Thank you, Mom and Dad. Tonight I'm also honored to take the center seat as mayor of this great town in 2019. I have waited a long time to sit here, and now I have shown that persistence can lead you to your goals. I am grateful to the public for again electing me to the Township Committee. I promise our residents that I will try my hardest to implement the government values and the governing values I have campaigned on. This will be my third time on the Township Committee, being a steward of the public's trust. And I've learned much in these previous 6 years on the committee, and now I am ready to lead our municipality as mayor. I believe in the saying that you can't know where you're going if you don't know where you've come. And I've learned a tremendous amount during my two prior terms here, which included a lot of institutional knowledge gleaned from my predecessors. I've had the privilege of serving with many long-serving committee men and committee women that had a lot of experience and knowledge. During my first term, I served with Kathleen Highland, Rick Watson, Bob Nace, and Scott Rosenbush, all of whom had the title of mayor multiple times during the years of service. I learned from all of them. And more recently, I have served with Mayor Emeritus Peter Mankiso, who has already helped me and guided me through some of my new responsibilities. I must add, though, that it is ironic and unfortunate that the person I learned the most from also chose to kick me when I was down after having lost my last election. Those of you who were here at this reorganization meeting several years ago recall the harsh words. So I'm hopeful that Scott Rosenbush will be watching this meeting after it's posted on YouTube, thanks to Deputy Mayor Cathy Wilson and all her work to get the meetings up on YouTube, so Scott can hear the great things that we have planned for our town in the coming year. We are so lucky to live in a town that is so well run. Our administration and our employees do a great job. Business Administrator Tim Quinn runs a very efficient operation here at Town Hall. I see him as a combination of a captain steering a ship, as well as a mechanic that keeps the machine well oiled. We're lucky to have him. Our attorney, John Mills, has given us good guidance through the years, always showing the utmost respect for me and everyone who deals with him. And I very much look forward to his continued counsel this year. Thank you, John. And all our department heads here have to be commended for the jobs they do on a day-to-day basis to provide the quality services our residents have come to expect. Our residents can be assured that they will see no changes in the day-to-day operations of our town. However, as I met with residents all over town this past year, it's clear that residents do want to see change in the way that we do things on several fronts. And these include communication, overdevelopment, traffic and speeding, and more shared services to help us reduce costs. Fellow residents, we have heard you loud and clear, and I can tell you that this Township Committee will be addressing those concerns this year. From day one, when I started my first campaign, I spoke about open government. To me, that is more than just communication with our residents, which we will do. It's also about seeking out resident input when we have tough decisions to make. That is true open government, and we are going to do that as well. Our goal is to set a new gold standard in the way the municipality communicates with its residents and seeks their input prior to making big decisions. At our January 16th meeting, we will lay out the elements of a new communications plan, and you will get a preview of that tonight from Deputy Mayor Cathy Wilson. This plan includes televising Township Committee meetings on cable TV and opening up these monthly meetings to provide more detailed explanations to residents about our ordinances and other items on our agenda that affect the community. As for overdevelopment, we are facing several large developments already underway or proposed. We need to ensure that these are properly integrated into the fabric of our town. Additionally, better planning is so important to me that this year I will also take a seat on our planning board in addition to my responsibilities as mayor. My goal is that any new development has an element integrated into its plan to get people out of their cars and onto their feet and bikes. We have enough cars on our roads already, and any new development will need to limit traffic impacts going forward. Relating to the traffic issue, I'm also pleased to announce a brand new standing committee tonight that we're titling Traffic and Circulation. This will not only deal with cars, but also with bikers, hikers, walkers, and public transportation. And you're also going to hear more about this from Cathy Wilson, who is leading this effort. And with regard to speeding, I am hopeful that Morris Township can finally follow the lead of Morris Plains and Morristown by starting a pilot program, small pilot program, Tim, of testing speed humps on 2 or 3 of our streets, and we'll see how that goes. Residents have been asking that for a long time, and I think it's about time that we try. As for shared services, we're going to formalize and expand this initiative by creating a new standing committee focused on shared services. We will build on our very successful joint port into other areas. We will not only be looking to surrounding municipalities, but also to the school district and the county government about sharing services with us. We have many other initiatives that we'd like to kick off this year. One is another brand new standing committee focused on what we're calling environment, energy, and sustainability. And later this year, we'll also be working on a multifaceted initiative relating to our senior citizen community. And we are not just going to start communicating with our residents, we're also going to start communicating with all the other towns that are around us, as well as the county government, that is supposed to be helping all of us manage the burgeoning developments that are on Morris Township's own borders along the county corridors. We would like the county to take a bigger role in mediating between communities where development in one community adversely affects another community, and we have several of those here surrounding us. As an example, the Park Avenue and Hanover Avenue corridors are already at gridlock for several hours a day, and there is still more development coming on each of those roads. We need to do better. To this end, we are expanding our previously titled Legislation Committee to now be titled Legislation, Government Liaison, and Grants, and we'll be focusing on communicating with our surrounding communities. In addition, there used to be a working group called Seamless, which stood for Southeast Morris League for Strategic Solutions. And this group acted as a forum for our adjoining municipalities to share issues, problems, and solutions with each other on a wide range of topics. This group ceased meeting about 8 years ago, but I have already spoken to Mayor Bob Conley of Madison and Mayor Bruce Harris of Chatham Borough about restarting this group, and they have been quite receptive to the initiative. We also have several challenges this year. As we heard over the past several months, the township came to an agreement with the New Jersey courts on our affordable housing requirements. We negotiated a very, very good settlement, but now we need to implement that settlement by the year 2025. Incorporating these new affordable units into our community has meant that the township has proposed very large developments that can accommodate a portion of those units as affordable to meet our obligation. But I would like to explore possibilities of easing the density requirements of these new developments while still meeting our obligations. It'll be hard, but we're going to give it a try. We will also have some budget challenges this year. For example, the state of New Jersey will be requiring increased pension payments from all the municipalities to make up for the deficient state funding of our pension obligations. We will also have an increased health care cost after 2 years of no increases. And recycling has been an issue across the United States. China used to take a tremendous amount of recycled materials from the United States, but they have stopped buying these materials, and this has resulted in a bottom falling out of the market. So we used to get paid for our recycling materials, and this year it will actually cost us money to get rid of them. So that's going to adversely affect the budget. There are other budget challenges as well, and I'll inform the public of those in the next couple of months as we put the budget together. And in closing, I would like to again thank everyone out there who helped me to get to this point. I look forward to your continued support as we work our way through the many new initiatives we have planned for this year. I am very much looking forward to being your mayor this year and working with this great group of colleagues we have up here on the dais, as well as the excellent employees we have working for us in our town. Here's to a successful 2019. Thank you. So as my first act as mayor, I would like to make a proclamation to Abbott Giles Hayes of St. Mary's Abbey. Much has been said about him already. There's not much I can add other than to reiterate the impact that he's made on so many people in our community for almost a period of 60 years being part of Morris Township and being interned here for the days to come. And he's such a special man that I am just honored to make this proclamation to Abbott Giles Hayes. I will just read the beginning of it. It's a proclamation in recognition and in memory of Right Reverend Abbott Giles Peter Hayes, OSB of the community of St. Mary's Abbey, Delbarton School. Whereas the township mourns the loss of Abbott Giles Hayes, who passed away on March 7, 2018, and it goes on with a lot of other whereas clauses. But again, I'm happy to present this to St. Mary's Abbey at the end of this meeting, and we're thankful for all that Giles Hayes did for our community. Thank you. And as we said in the beginning of the meeting, one of the initiatives we're taking this year is to honor somebody in the community throughout the year at each of our meetings. If anybody has any suggestions for anybody who should be honored, please get into contact with me. We'd be happy to shine a light on the people who are making our community better for all of us. So next on the agenda, we are going to assign our committee members to the standing committees. I did have a couple of remarks to make before we get to those assignments, and that is we have worked over the committees a little bit from what we had last year. We had 15 working committees last year. We've worked to combine a few of them, one being infrastructure, which was combining buildings and grounds and parking lots to just make things more efficient. We've combined communications and information technology because those are so related these days that a lot of your communications goes through the information technology resources. We've created, as I said, this Transportation and Circulation Committee, a new committee on the environment, energy, and sustainability that will interact with our environmental committee. And let's see, the other changes are the legislation committee is now changed into the Legislation Government Liaison and Grants Committee to expand those responsibilities, work with our surrounding towns and the federal government and the grants that are available to us. And the last change we have is